Oh man, I don't know about you guys, but it is an entire day later and I'm still riding very high after that emotional roller coaster of a game that the Rams were able to pull out in Soldier Field 20-17 last night. You get an overtime thriller between two really good teams in the NFC. And I mean, this is what makes you love football as a football fan. At least speaking for myself, these kinds of games makes it why you watch the games. You're going to have these games every now and then. This season, there's been a lot of them. And just hats off to the Chicago Bears. Like, I actually somehow got the score prediction perfectly right. I'm going to keep saying that. I didn't think it would go into overtime, but 20-17 was my score prediction. But the Bears played incredibly well this game. Like, their defensive coordinator, Dennis Allen, had an incredible game plan against the Los Angeles Rams. And I know people are going to be talking about it was an ugly offensive game. Sean McVay didn't call a good game, and those things are true. But at the same time, you have to give credit to the Chicago Bears and the game plan that they had, the blitzes and all those things. They made our offensive line look the worst that they have all year with the starters in, obviously minus Rob Havenstein. So yes, the Rams offense did have those things where you were just frustrated. They just didn't quite look like themselves. It took until the third or fourth quarter for Davante Adams to get his first catch of the game. I mean, it was a very abnormal game, and I do think that weather played into this game, and a lot of Bears fans thought I was just discounting the weather, saying it's not going to do anything to this Rams team, and I never said that last week. I thought the weather got overblown because everybody thought it just meant the Rams were going to lose this game, but I did say it would be an equalizer. It would make this game closer than it would have if the Rams played at SoFi Stadium, and sure enough, it did. You had some weird plays. Stafford certainly did not play a good game, had a lot of different kinds of misses, but the Bears also just brought incredible pressure, the most pressure he has faced all year, probably outside that Falcons game because he had a lot of pressure there too. So I think the offensive side of the football was a weird combination of the Bears having a very good game plan under Dennis Allen, and their players just had one of their best defensive games that I've seen. As I mentioned before, my dad is a Bears fan, so I've seen plenty of Bears games this year. This certainly was one of their most impressive game plans that they had. Guys like Jaquan Brisker and Kyler Gordon playing the way that they did, the different blitz packages, they were able to throw off the rhythm of this offense. But I also think that you can say that, yeah, the wind definitely did play into things, the elements did play into things. You saw Stafford missing throws that he normally wouldn't miss, but at the same time, that was because the Bears were getting good, consistent pressure. So it's kind of a mixture of things. From an offensive standpoint, I was very frustrated with the Rams and with Sean McVay. I'm just glad it didn't cost the season, but I was very frustrated because coming into this game, this is one of those games where I really wanted the Rams just to pound the rock, just run it back and forth until the Bears stop it, and at least keep things balanced here, especially given the elements and some of the game plan stuff that I didn't even expect the Bears would bring into this game. That's what I wanted them to lean into. It's just playoff football. That's what you got to do. But I mean, the first drive of the game, obviously it was a long touchdown drive, but it was like the first 4 or 5 plays were passes, and it was a very like a pass heavy game plan, to the point where Jordan Rodriguez, one of our, or I guess a former beat writer of the Los Angeles Rams, was asking about McVay's approach to be very pass happy in this game, given the elements and everything on the line, and he basically admitted to that being a mistake by him. Luckily it didn't cost the Rams, because it did feel like the times when the Rams really leaned into that run game to at least balance things out, that was when they had their best drives. They had the 80-yard drive, they had the 90-yard drive, going the full length of the field, and it just helped to keep things balanced out. But when the Rams got into that pass happy mode, things just did not look quite on rhythm. The Bears were throwing things off with their scheme defensively, so just really glad that the Rams were able to lean into the run game when it mattered late in that fourth quarter to be able to take the lead, and that just kind of helped to balance things out a little bit. And while, yeah, you didn't have like a Davante Adams game like a lot of people were predicting of over 100 yards and all of that, and even Puka Nacua, when you just look at the stats, didn't have a great game. Davante Adams came up when you really needed it on that incredible hash-to-hash throw from Matthew Stafford on the out route, and I don't care how many yards he had, he came up in big moments. He had that one, he had the dig route, and I don't care what the yards look like, he made his impact plays when they were needed. Really, the Rams relied on Puka Nacua and Colby Parkinson a lot in the passing game, but even so, the passing game just didn't have a ton of success in this game. That's just kind of the way that it went. I felt like the Bears did a really good job on first down. They continued to get the Rams in the 2nd and 10s and even 3rd and 10 scenarios. The Bears continued just to win first down, and again, I think that goes to the credit of their scheming, but also the fact that we were just so aggressively pass happy in this condition. So again, a lot of different things played into that, but the Bears did a really good job of getting us into 3rd and long scenarios, and then you took some of those 50-50 balls downfield, and it just wasn't kind of your day in that area. But yeah, again, I did feel like when the Rams really got back into the basics of running the football, letting that set everything else up, that is when they had their best drives of the game. And this is one of those games that he may not get recognized a lot for, but this was a Kyren Williams day. He came up when the Rams needed him, not only with the runs when he had the opportunities given to him with those 2 rushing touchdowns, but early on he had 2 catches. One was a 3rd down conversion. He was good in pass protection. So Kyren Williams had a really good day on the offensive side, and I don't know if the Rams would have won without him. And I was impressed with the Rams defense in this game as well. I mean, only holding the Chicago Bears to 17 points is very impressive, especially when the Bears are at home and they know you well with Ben Johnson. But this Bears offense is littered with weapons just everywhere across the board. You got Rome Odunze, DJ Moore, Luther Burden, who looked incredible, Cole Kmet, I mean, Colston Loveland, and I'm missing people. Like, they have so many guys, and that was one of my biggest concerns here in this game, was our secondary versus those weapons. And even when you lost Emmanuel Forbes and you don't have Akella Witherspoon and there's just some shakeup in that cornerback room, they're a very volatile group. I've said that all year. It doesn't mean they're bad all the time, but when they're good, they're really good. And when they're bad, you know, it kind of feels like the Rams just need to improve there. But this game, the amount of times that there were Rams breaking up the football, you obviously had 3 interceptions, 2 from Kobe Durant, 1 from Cam Kinchins, and they had some really impressive breakups and were able to hold this Bears group in their passing game down really well. And it felt like every now and then the Bears would have that explosive play, and I mean explosive by like a 15-yard dig, 20-yard dig. That's what felt explosive in a game like this. But overall, I was really impressed with the Rams cornerback group and the secondary as a whole to be able to hold this group in check. It's just a very dangerous group even if you have a good secondary, and the Rams were able to do a really good job, and those 3 turnovers were big. It was who's going to win the turnover battle is going to win this game, and the Rams got 3 of them. The Bears surprisingly didn't get a single turnover on the Los Angeles Rams, so I was really impressed with the way the secondary stepped up this game. And my dad, who is a Bears fan, brought up multiple times of how well the Rams cornerbacks and secondary were tackling the Bears. He obviously had some misses here and there, but overall, like, I'd agree with him. They were coming up in the run game, they're making some big plays, and that Rams defense had multiple 4th down stops on those 4th and short scenarios and 3rd and short scenarios as well. And that was just what really impressed me about this Rams defense. This is one of their better games that they've played. You obviously had, honestly, probably my favorite play of the year, and I don't even know what it is about it. I think it just kind of describes this Rams team as a whole, is when DeAndre Swift hurdled Darius Williams on the 1 or 2 yard line late in that game, and Quentin Lake is right behind him and stops him there. Like, that was just an incredible play. And then you obviously have the next play after that. They go for it 4th down, and Omar Speights breaks up the pass. And I was just very impressed by this defense not to be able to give up in a game like this when both offenses weren't doing well for a while. It was 10-10 for a while. It kind of felt like at some point an offense was going to break through and do something. But there's a long period of time when each defense for the Bears and the Rams could have just given up and been like, we're getting stop after stop, like just throwing the white towel, the white flag, whatever. But they continued to strain and kept them in the game. And that really reminded me of the Rams-Lions game a year ago, like last season, when the Rams played the Lions in week 1 and it went into overtime, and the Rams defense had to play so many snaps that they were just exhausted, and the Lions in overtime could just gash you up the field all the way. It looked pretty easy for the Lions, and they won the game there. And that showed the growth to me in this Rams game, because the Bears owned the time of possession. It felt like they just continued to have long drives. We'd go in 3 and out for most of the game, and yet the Rams defense held the Bears to only 17 points, and they had multiple stops in the game when they could have given up, and no bigger than that Cam Curl interception, which was absolutely incredible late in the game. The Bears only needed like 10 more yards to get a field goal and win the game. So that's what impressed me, just to see the growth from where the Rams were against the Lions, how gassed they were, how exhausted they were, to playing this game and having a similar kind of thing when it comes to playing like 80 plus plays on defense and being able to stay out there, continue to help out the offense when the offense wasn't doing well. And that's what impressed me about it. The linebackers played really well. Secondary, as I talked about, thought the Rams pass rush had things to be desired, didn't get a single sack and had some opportunities here and there. But overall, like, this defense kept you in the game. This took a team effort from the Rams. And who would have thought all the way back to middle of the season that it would have been the Rams special teams and a rookie kicker that would end up advancing the Rams from the divisional round to the championship round in Soldier Field, which is not an easy place to be able to kick. So overall, I get it. It's not a stylish win. It's not a flashy win, and people want those kinds of things, and I completely understand that. But I just care about getting a win and getting out of there. I think that the Rams-Seahawks game is going to look a lot different. There's a lot more familiarity there. You're playing in a place you're a lot more familiar with as well. Weather shouldn't be as bad. You're going to have a tough opponent there, but just get out of Chicago with the win. And you didn't get packered by the Chicago Bears. You didn't let them back into the game and lose. It was close, but this really just stood out to me about the experience, the playoff experience, the coaching staff to be able to stay in this one. The Rams don't typically win games like this. Like, they just don't. It feels like when that momentum swings and a team has an opportunity just to put their foot down on them in overtime or late in the game, sometimes it feels like that's when the Rams just can't do anything about it. But they stayed in this game. They won the game. I don't care that it wasn't the most pretty. This is going to be one of my most favorite Rams games in history. And no matter what the way the season goes, this game just stands out to me with just the way they're able to strain, the way that they're able to finish, continue to make plays, be complimentary. When one unit isn't doing well, to be able to pick the other one up. So just happy the Rams get the win. They get to move on. Let me know your thoughts down below. Those are my thoughts. If you do like Rams thoughts in general, I make Rams videos all the time, and if you leave a like on this video and subscribe, I'd appreciate it, because again, I make Rams content all the time. As always though, I hope you guys have a great day. Enjoy this victory week. Horns up and God bless.